Salzburg is one of Austria's most famous and celebrated cities, not just because of its association with Mozart and the sound of music, but also because of its beautiful old town and its surroundings, the former of which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. After crossing the bridge Marco-Feingoldsteg, you will soon reach the famous alley Getreidegasse, where Mozart was born. From there, you can start your stroll through the old town and enjoy the city's rich history. For more than 1,100 years, the Prince Archbishop had the power of the state and the church in Salzburg. This power is still palpable in the architecture of Baroque squares, buildings and churches dotted throughout the city. Salzburg is even often referred to as the Rome of the North, and the city's wealth was mostly attributed to salt mining in the area. Even the name of the city contains the word Salz, meaning salt. In full, when translated into English, Salzburg means Salt Castle. One of the most prominent structures in the city is the Hohensalzburg Castle, built in the late 11th century, and sits on the Festungsberg at 500 meters in altitude. This can be seen from various perspectives within the old city today. At present day, its eminence as one of Europe's largest and oldest existing medieval fortresses remains to be palpable as it overlooks the historic centre of Salzburg. For history enthusiasts such as myself, knowingly traversing paths, streets, and encountering buildings of cultural significance gives me a sense of euphoria in a beautiful and picturesque city like Salzburg. Walking through the streets and medieval passages and courtyards of the old town, one stumbles upon the well-maintained relics of a city that continues to perpetuate an aura of Central European heritage. The city of Salzburg is probably most famous for being the birthplace of world-famous musical composer Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, for which visitors to Salzburg can still visit his birth home and house of residency. Mozart was baptized in the city's 17th century Baroque-style cathedral, which actually has a history going back to the 8th century for when it was first established. It not only contains the original baptismal font for which Mozart himself was baptized on, but it also contains stunning art and architecture from wall to wall as well as from floor to ceilings. At Domplatz, right next to the cathedral, you will also find Alte Residenz, a palace where the Prince Archbishop once resided. The residence was already mentioned in the 12th century and remodeled during the 1600s. The Neue Residenz was mainly built between 1588 and 1602 by wealthy Prince Archbishop Wolf Dietrich von Reichenau and houses the Salzburg Museum today. This will give you an opportunity to wander around and take in some of Austria's most glorious architecture. A church that should not be missed is St. Peter's Abbey, which is a Benedictine monastery and a former cathedral. It was founded in the year 696 by St. Rupert, and therefore one of the oldest monasteries in the German-speaking world. The church was built in a Romanesque style in the 12th century, and went through various changes over the subsequent centuries. The interior was last remodeled in Rococo style in the second half of the 17th century. Adjacent to the church, one will also find the Petersfriedhof, which is famous for its beautiful graves and its catacombs that are carved out of the rocks of Festungsberg. It also offers a stunning view to the fortress. Another famous Baroque-style structure within the city limits is the 17th century Mirabell Palace and Gardens, which are a colourful and tranquil reminder of the city's ongoing glory and perpetual beauty. This UNESCO World Heritage Site, located in the heart of Salzburg, has maintained a geometrically designed layout and is filled with beautiful flowers and sculptures, some of which date back to the 18th century. Today, the Mirabell Palace and Gardens is one of the most popular tourist sites within the city limits. Just south of the city is the slightly displaced 17th century Baroque-style Schloss Hellbrunn. The Schloss Hellbrunn, literally translating into Clear Spring in English, was built by Marcus Sitticus von Hohenems, the Prince Archbishop of Salzburg. It was built from his own conception, complete with water features and green romantic surroundings, which over the years have come to symbolize the man himself, as Marcus Siticus was known for his sense of humour, eccentric personality, and love for hosting guests on the palace's grounds. In some ways, the grounds themselves are symbolic of the welcoming, quirky, and culturally rich characteristics of the city of Salzburg itself. Whether it's culture, history, music, scenic views and architecture, or even just a beer from one of the city's historical institutions such as the Augustinerbräu that one seeks from the city, there is plenty to appreciate and enjoy in one of Austria's and Europe's most prolific and beautiful cultural centres. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel.